Jonas, thank you so much for your time. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I find it really exciting that this is a show where the heart and soul of the show is a band and music. That is thing. That everything else, in my opinion, was kind of like this was a music show that had drama coming of age in my opinion, right? And
Yeah.
you've worked on shows that had soundtracks were very important. The in like certain shows like Outer Banks, like the characters listen to a lot of certain music, but this one was really about music. How important was it for you to make a show that was like very about the music with this one?
I mean, that's what it's literally that is the core of it,
Yeah,
right? And the way we tried to do it and sort of invert the usual process where we had musicians to try to act rather than actors who try to play music. We tried to make it as real and as authentic. Like PD, I don't know if you know this, but like all the songs that you hear in the
yep,
show were what they played live on set that day. It wasn't like we recorded it in a studio and then slapped it onto the cut like you see in
amazing.
most shows. It's like I was like, if they make mistakes, if they sing off key, like that needs to just be what you see. And
Yeah,
so it was super important to try to make it as authentic as we could.
it's really funny how the universe works, man.
Funny, maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I do want to ask. I mean, I think it's interesting, and I want to know what the conversations were like. Maybe not with Will, but everyone else, where it's like that kind of like transition of like they were in bands having those kind of arguments, writing
Yes.
songs and everything, and now we're gonna put it like part of a script, right? Part of a show. What was that? Because I feel like that's the coolest conversation. What was that conversation like with
Well,
them?
like because they weren't actors, we tried to write a script that was really close to their personalities.
Yeah.
So we would have these literally like therapy sessions. Like people would be crying, like, tell me
Mhm.
about your mom, tell me about your dad, tell me about what you're worried about. What are your parents supportive of this? Or do they
Mhm.
think this is crazy? And then once we realized we wanted to write the script to that, and then we had to go to the guys and be like, "Are you okay with us writing like this?
Yeah.
Because we're kind of cherry picking your life here. Your parents going to be mad if they get portrayed in a negative light, all that
Mhm.
sort of stuff." So there was always sort of a push and pull, but we
Yep.
were trying to make it so that these guys that weren't actors, with the exception of one, had a fighting chance. And so
Yeah.
it honestly has been fun because it gives me ideas for scenes, and there's this
Yep.
whole back and forth that happens.
It's interesting too, also because that actor was actually in that band too. So that's a whole other like kind of dynamic too. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
um, I did want to ask you this because I played it. PD Beats was my stage name in punk bands growing up. So I
Yeah, I
like
was
this.
gonna say,
This
bro.
show hit home. Like I was a concert promoter when I was 17. Like I was like, oh my goodness, I loved like every minute of this. Everybody in a punk band or an indie rock band at that age, coming of age, Jonas, I was in there. Everyone's in their own different mindset. Some
Yep.
people are like Charlie, they want to be a famous musician. Some
Yep.
of them are just there for FOMO, they're with their friends. Some of them are figuring it out.
Yep.
That was done so well in this, and I'm wondering if you had kind of any like talks with people or consulting with any of the bands or musicians because
Oh,
it's like
God,
that's so
yeah.
cool to me. Like you guys hit that out of the park with that.
Well, Petey, like what one of the things you realize that started working on this is that so many people had this dream on
Yeah,
some level. Like if you go out on our film crew, probably half of them had a high school band. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of people that kind of toyed with this for a second. And
absolutely.
all of that is in there. And so, having been around, my brother went to Chapel Hill where there was this crazy good rock scene in the early 90s and like all these bands were competitive and stealing musicians. So we kind of have been eyeing this for a long time and just trying to figure out like when could we do this? Could we, and if we did do it, I feel like there's kind of a cynicism that might sleep in. We're like, oh, it's a sort of manufactured band. It's not real. And so we just were like, how do we do it differently so it feels as real as it could be? And
Yeah.
that was what we tried to do.
Oh, it was authentic. And I guess my film, because I make films as well under Pop Turner Pictures, so I have my hat on when I ask you this question, which is interesting. But like, I feel like those locate like those like like concerts, right? At the fair, at the
Yeah.
clubs, at the wedding, right? I feel like those were like their own mini movie, mini show. Did it feel when you were filming those? 'Cause I feel like that must have taken a long time sometimes to film. Did those feel like their own kind of
Oh,
movie or
what's so
show?
fun is that like you don't like okay, all the guys are young, all most of the people in the crowd are young. They're playing for real. We're recording it, so
Yeah.
nobody's really acting. Like the band's playing, the crowd's reacting. I don't have to do anything. It's like it's almost like shooting a documentary. Like I'm just shooting a show. That's it.
Oh, so good. Um, What was it like for you that that tag team of like the music that they're playing? Like you started this interview saying that that was like all their original songs, but then there's
Yeah.
some amazing needle drops in this, like some of my favorite. You know what I mean? So what was that like for you?
I
Because
mean,
that's like my favorite thing. Like there's music's great, but you have some good needle drop. Like I'm gonna listen to like Enter Sandman like all the time now because that was like my favorite thing of all time.
well, it's like the greatest song ever.
Yeah.
I mean, when we wrote that scene, like we were like, God, Metallica better let us license this because we baked this in the cake, man. And so but honestly, like the only rule was like it had to be a song that we would just listen to. Like
Yeah.
I didn't care what genre, I didn't care where it came from, I didn't care about time period, I didn't care about like,
Mhm.
what language. It's just like it just has to be good. And if
Yeah.
we liked it and I'd put it on a playlist, then it had a fighting chance.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a big metal guy, and I even listen to a lot of heavy deathcore and everything.
Yeah,
One of my friends, Ray Oblock, who's on Ginny and Georgia. Fun
yeah.
fact, we actually got almost like it's in one of our episodes. We got a metal song in Ginny and Georgia this season, which
That's
is kind
so cool. Well, you got to send us some tunes, dude, because like we don't have
of
a composer. There's no
yeah.
composed music, so it's all. I think there was like 300 needle drops in the season, so we're always
Yeah.
looking for tunes.
Being a concert promoter, 17, 18, that's all like you do is listen to bands. And there's so many like amazing songs out there of
Oh
like
God.
defunct bands, Jonas, that are just sitting there. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like,
so many. Like,
oh,
and we tried to, like, there's this cool music scene where I live in Wilmington where the show was shot.
yeah.
And so I would call all these baby bands and I'd be like, just send me your 5 best songs, dude, and I'll do my best to get it in the show.
Oh, absolutely. There's so many.
Yeah.
I listen to so many. That's what I do. Like I playlist. Like I'm a playlist guy. That's what I do,
Yeah.
Jonas. So absolutely.
Well,
I
send
love
me
this show.
some.
Absolutely. We'll talk about
Yeah.
that. I love this show. Congratulations. I can't wait for people to see the runarounds on Prime. Jonas, it was an honor and privilege to speak with you, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah. Appreciate it, PD. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.